All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to wait a few moments while we let folks come into our virtual space. Thank you for joining us. If you're now just joining us, we are just waiting for folks to gather in our virtual space. We'll be starting in a few moments, so just hang tight. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome to Preserving the Apache Language, the COVID-19 response. Today we'll be highlighting Noel Altaha, a citizen of White Mountain Apache Tribe. Her pronouns are she and they are from the matrilineal clan of the Eagle Clan. She is a coordinator of the Apache Language Project 2020. Noel and guests will be discussing preserving the Apache language in the time of COVID-19. We are joined by elders and language learners from her tribe to discuss the Apache Language Project and its aims to preserve, promote, protect the Apache language through educational content that will mobilize their language from the stage of survival to thriving. We welcome you and we welcome Noel Altaha. Thank you.
Can you hear me, son?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, can you see me okay?
We can see you, yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Dagot Shishti Noel Altaha Unze. Forgive me, I'm still learning my language. Takain Ishli Yangugai Yanashli. So my name is Noel Altaha, and I am White Mountain Apache from the White Mountain Apache Reservation, or as we call it, Ndee Apache, which more or less just tells you the location of who we are. And so with me, I'll be the moderator tonight, and I'll need everyone's help on ensuring that we stay we're respectful of everyone's time. So with me for now, I have Dr. Ria Goglish, and I'll ask you to introduce yourself shortly. And then I have Gianna from our tech team, who I'll ask for you to first start to introduce yourself, if you don't mind. And then we'll go to Dr. Goglish.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gianna. I am adopted into the Monclova clan of the Chiricahua Apache, and I have been helping Noel out on the tech team to get this Apache language project going, as it is so, as we'll talk about how important and emergent that it is to preserve this language. Yeah, I'll just be here to say a few quotes at some points in time.
Thank you. Dr. Goglish.
She Dr. Goglish can say she is to gain she the guys anya na sha video ye on she sto the jay is go ko ita ashte. Good afternoon or good evening for some of you, everybody. I'm Dr. Ria Goglish. I'm White Mountain Apache. I am also of the Eagle Clan, just like Noel. I am happy to be here. I am an educator, been an educator all my whole life. Been a teacher, principal, superintendent, and now I'm a principal again at San Carlos Rice Elementary School. So I'm happy to be here, to meet all of you.
Great. Thank you so much. And Dr. Goglish will be helping us in translating, because we want to have our people who are listening, or maybe it'll be on a video YouTube later for them to watch, but we want them, our people, our elders in particular, to know what we're talking about and who we're talking about. And so thank you, Dr. Goglish, in advance for helping us with the translation. I do want to get our contact Belle on the phone. So with that, I'll I'll go ahead and get started and introduce myself before we get Belle on the phone. But my name is Noel Altaha again in English. That's my English name, and I am a licensed social worker. I live in the state of New York. I live in Brooklyn, New York, or Lenape-Hoking, and I am from the very small community of King Ndee, Arizona, of the White Mountain Apache Tribe. And am really coming in this conversation as a moderator around how COVID has impacted the White Mountain Apache Tribe. And so what I mean by that is I came in as someone you would consider off territory or off the reservation, which I don't really like that term, but I live off the reservation because my elders said that education is a way to help our people. So I got educated and I wanted to give back to the community. And Belle Patterson, who's going to join us, who's an amazing, amazing person, she really helped me reconnect to my language. And so that really helped me. I guess she allowed space for me to connect to my language. And that allowed me to know who I am, more or less, or get to know who I am. And in a time of COVID, it's so important to know who you are, what do you need, and how is your community going to community going to support you, and how are you going to support your community? So with that said, I'll go ahead, if it's okay, and do a brief history, and please anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll jump into a brief history of the timeline, so to speak, around COVID and around the White Mountain Apache Tribe. So I'm not sure if everyone has seen the updated news in the New York Times and around the world, but the global pandemic, COVID-19, has impacted Arizona as one of the heaviest hit in the world. And what that means, the implications for that are immeasurable. You don't know what you don't know. And so as Native people who've been here for thousands of years, we know a lot. We know more than the average Joe, and our plants know a lot, more or less. So I guess what I want to go ahead and start this with is that we are a humble people. We come from some sacred mountains in what you consider Arizona in the United States. But more importantly, we call ourselves Sithligai Ndee, and that is the people from this particular area and these particular mountains. And so we have been here for thousands of years, and our songs have been here, our language has been here. And with COVID, I think to me, it reminds me a lot of the colonization of our people, and when they put us on reservation camps and when they put us on concentration camps. Really, that was to colonize us. That was to take away who we were as an indigenous people. So that was a few hundred years ago. But what does that mean for today? That means that we are constantly working towards balancing who we are as Ndee people and balancing who we are in this Western way, or the white man's way. So I guess with that, I want to go ahead and ask, Dr. Goklish, if it's possible to translate some of the questions that I had sent to the group earlier. I can go ahead and send them again. But if you don't mind, Dr. Goklish, getting us started by translating the first question. There's only 5, and we don't have to go through them all today. But the first question: where do you want the people listening and watching to know? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say, what do you want the people to know who are watching? And by what, I mean non-Apache people. What do you want the world to know about White Mountain Apache? And what do you want them to know about the language in the time of COVID-19? So Dr. Goklish, if you don't mind helping us with translating that first question, what do we want the people to know? Oh, I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Sorry. Okay, DUE hati Ndee thlekaisan Ndee hati biwa bond se anti hati biwa bond anti e kunde dan lini dahyudawlini hati wahsha beh nafaral nuhi yeti lei dika naltihi wa hati shande nda leira walta yorasi arishti. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so we will have 2 more guests coming in. We'll have Belle Patterson, who's the founder of one of the language groups. And I guess, please excuse me, I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to get everyone organized here. And what I want to say is that we're working towards our language preservation, protection, and promotion around who we are, because our language is intimately connected to who we are as a people. It's connected in our universe, in our epistemologies, in our stories, in the land, in the food, in our feelings. Even with COVID, we haven't gotten into this part yet in the talk, but we can't even have our ceremonies. We can't even have our funeral ceremonies. And that's, as a licensed social worker, that's going to cause a lot of harm if you cannot process your grief in a way that is healthy, that your people have done for thousands of years. And we need to figure out a way that honors that, because for the rest of we have White Mountain Apache people, when someone passes on, typically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Goglish and whoever's listening, some of us cut our hair, and we also to mourn, and also when your hair grows back, it's time to let go of that person. But during that mourning time, it's very important that you honor it, and it's very important that you respect it, because you're time stamping what's happening in your life. And some tribes, I know the Southern Utes, they cut off a tip of your fingers, they cut off a tip of your nose if that person was really close to you, because you need to see this, you need to see me, you need to see this permanent damage to my face because somebody is gone. And that's what happened for me. Some of you who know me, I had long hair down to halfway to my knees, and I cut it because my medicine man, Harris Burnett, rest in peace, passed on. So I needed to tell the world, because the world's not listening, and the world, you need to listen, because right now is a very important time, very important time. So what I want to stress to everyone is that we really need to take the time to focus on who we are. My elder says we need to tend to our garden and clean our space up. Now is the time to take care of ourselves and to decolonize those weeds in your garden, any thoughts you have. And I think the other piece to that is that, what does that mean for Native Americans, or what does that mean for Indigenous people? It means that we're losing an opportunity to understand this global pandemic. We're losing an opportunity to share vital resources and information around how to survive this global pandemic, because we're from the high desert. We know how to survive very, very harsh climates. We've been doing it for thousands of years. And you might see a desert with nothing. We see our backyard with lots of food, lots of resources. And so I guess what I'm saying is, living in New York, people like to say, oh, it's a food desert. No, it's not a food desert. I'm from the desert. There's lots of food there. You just don't know how to look. Nobody taught you. So that's where I'm coming from. I come from my elders who remember. That's the thing about the United States, is that they forget so quickly, but we remember. We know what it was couple hundred years ago. We remember, and because we remember, that's a threat. And just to not get on a spiel here, but just to keep it focused on COVID, we really need to understand our language. We really need to understand who we are as a people. And the more we understand who we are, the more power we have to heal ourselves, and the more power we have to support other people. And so I guess with that, I just want to go ahead and ask Dr. Goklish, if you have any response or any thoughts around, you know, the things that were mentioned, that I just mentioned, or anything around what you want people to know about White Mountain Apache people or about the language. I'm sorry, you're on mute, Dr. Goklish.
I keep forgetting. Okay, thanks for your comments, Noel. It's all true what you're saying about our people. I am was born and raised on the reservation too, and I've been, like I said, been in education my whole life, and I feel like right now, you know, we're trying to preserve our language, and we're talking about what can we do, what's our part, how do we contribute, what do we give to try to save our language. And I do enjoy, I love reading, writing, and speaking Apache. It's been maybe the last 3 or 4 years that I've really started writing and reading, and to my surprise, it kind of came, it wasn't too difficult for me. And some people, you know, they can't read and they can't write, but I can do both, which I'm really happy about, and I think it's a gift. And so I try to help the group here and another group with writing and sharing my thoughts and reading. So I practice a lot, but we're in the midst, you know, of this pandemic, and I think our Apache language is just, it's really critical that we do whatever we can, because within the last month or so, we've lost a lot of just really precious elders that hold the history and of our Apache people, and that could have, I think that could have, it's a shame that they had to leave in the way that they did, because they've held a lot of the songs and the history of our Apache people, and that's what really saddens me. But right now, as someone said, you know, I think Belle was the one that said it earlier. I saw her post that said, you know, when you're home, you know, with your kids right now, and I'm speaking to our Apache people and just other races and other people everywhere, that since we're home and we're spending all this quality time that we should be with our kids, that we really focus on our language, really focus on our traditions and our culture. And I see Belle and her daughter, you know, she's teaching her daughter the Apache language, the face, the parts of the face, and she was really cute. And so that's what we should be doing. And I know that a lot of kids in White River and on the reservation, you know, they have regrets of not learning. But I know at the same time that parents also have their reasons for not teaching their children the Apache language, and there's you know, there's different reasons, but so I think now is the time to focus back on our language and start saving it and restoring it and revitalizing our Apache language. And so even in the midst, you know, I mean, we're strong, we're warriors, we've always been, you know, in our history, we've always been, and we've overcame a lot of atrocities in our history, and even to today, And so I feel like that's conserving and really trying to give back and trying to save our Apache language and the traditions and our culture. That's what's going to continue our livelihood and the Apache Nation. And so I do have a lot to say. I think a lot and I write down a lot of things, and I try to write in Apache a lot, talk with my mom and share a lot of things with my mother. And the language I just hold dear to my heart. And I'm glad that Noel is trying, you know, and whatever opportunity I get, you know, she tells me, how do you say this? And can you translate this? So I do what I can. And I'm grateful that she's trying, and she'll get there. And I know that because she's a very smart, intelligent lady. And so I'm proud that she's learning and she's going back to the roots. And because, you know, even for me, at one time or another, we all might lose contact, or we might wander off, you know, and I've done that, but we're Apache at heart, and we go back and we hold on to our learnings and hold on to our history, and that's what this is all about. And so I'm really happy to be a part of the group and trying to help with whatever I can. So I can talk forever, but I'll stop. Thank you.
No, that was perfect, Dr. Gogush. Thank you so much for your words. I think that really helped frame the way we want to use the rest of our time today. And it's not much, but I am excited to say that I believe we have some guests. So I believe we have, there's 3 Giannas. So are you going to help us out, Gianna, figure out the 3? I believe we have Rhoda and, excuse me, we might figure out some other people. But people who joined, do you mind introducing yourself? Go ahead and take it away. Your name, what community, and what else you want to share. Go ahead.
Hi, I'll go first. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. My name is Marion. I go by Bill. I started the Continue Apache Learning page, I'd say back in January. Before that, I was just doing like small videos on how to say certain words in Apache, how to say good morning, how to greet somebody. There was a lot of videos that I did, you know, small videos, and I posted them on Facebook. And people were telling me to go ahead and see if I can start like a YouTube video, or if I could have my own page. And so I was able to start the page, and it's for me, it was mostly like, I want my kids to learn, and I wanted them to have a recording of me talking to them, and I wanted them to be able to understand that, you know, I'm trying to help them learn. So I used to speak fluently since I was like a baby. My grandmas, my whole family, they spoke to me in Apache. I think that's something that I forgot to do is that was Marion Gunse anak Bell the nickname bidet yun siya so tukain shli Noel siya Ria so tukay danli she so tukay shli she's di da washed out na banay kai siya hada no fisha no fa preserve arish ida di da wa no fisha siya ida wa hat the Ndee Yiddish te saying Ndee or how to write it in Apache. You know, that's what we want to know. So just ana ashok kuni ya. I just said that, you know, I just said that I was from Cedar Creek. I am a Eagle clan as well, yeah, the same clan as Noel and Dr. Gokush. So I'm so happy that this is happening. It's exciting. It was a vision of mine for such a long time, and I'm excited. So go ahead. Anybody else wants to introduce?
Belle, thank you. And yes, Belle's one of the founders of our language group on Facebook. And so, you know, it took her courage and just her bravery to say, hey, this matters to me, this matters to my kids. I need to know my language, and the rest is history, as they say. But my goal has been just to not waste one more minute of Belle's time, because she's already wasted 10 years focusing on this. And it's not just that, it's everyone. We should all have access. It's our right, because this language was given to us by our God, by not our God, but God, creator. This Yusin, we call this energy Yusin. And that's what our elder Ramon Riley teaches us in these classes. And so with that, I'll go ahead and pass it on to Rhoda at the case to go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm very excited that you're able to join us. So go ahead, please.
Thank you so much for your patience, first of all. It was forever trying to connect. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, everything's good. Yeah, I just, you know, when we were talking earlier and listening to Ria, there was a lot of things that I wrote down just because it's such an Apache way of speaking, and even thinking, you can just tell that this is just a part. There's a lot of things that she said that are perfectly identifiable to me every time. And I went to school with Marion, and we, you know, everything that she does is speaks volumes about who we are. And that's the beautiful thing about it is, you know, when you guys are talking about your language preservation and whatnot, it just brings to mind the fact that we, that our language preservation is in our traditional preservation, and we in our cultural preservation. Those three are, you know, all three things that just work together. And with that said, that was my main interest when I wanted to reach out to the people again when we were still under the COVID crisis. So it was just kind of listening to a collective of the people within our tribe who were set in specific places to uphold the people, basically. And so I think once I saw there was a constant response that was not negative so much as it was a lack of belief in oneself, it just became frustrating because of the fact that I think that a lot of people, and I don't say this term with any judgment at all, but I think a lot of people in White River are used to being back burner people, and I think they like it that way. I don't think they do. I know they like it that way. They don't like to cause too much of a stir. They don't like to be the one that says anything. They don't like to be the one that stands up and creates a movement. All those things are very much, I wouldn't know as history, as far as history stands, if it's in our character, but I think it speaks a lot that Geronimo is one of the only well-known Apaches. You know, what others of us are going to become well-known Apaches? What are we going to do for ourselves? So in the beginning of all this COVID mess, when it was just very new and everything, I was hearing a lot of things from a lot of angles where people were saying there's nothing we can do, or, you know, we don't have the volunteer services for that. Those became extremely redundant, extremely quick. And mind you, we're working in a matter of about a 2-month span that we're hearing all these things collectively and watching things not being done. But that was one of the things, is it goes back into that thing of, if we lose our culture, if we lose our tradition, then how are we going to preserve any language? We're with our ceremonies right now. A lot of people are without their homes. A lot of people live sunrise camp. So there are a lot of things that this leaves us without. But before my father had left, the week prior, he had said that he had just reminded us that we were made White Mountain Apache with great purpose, that under no circumstances does Houston, as you were speaking of, make mistakes. And you're right, it's not just our God, it's everyone's God, you know, and that is our cultural and traditional belief. And I think, like you said, when you guys are talking about your language preservation, that's one and the same. When I'm talking about simply standing up and going out and having a call to action, which is exactly what I've done, a call to action from my people, my peers, the people I grew up with, the people I live in this city with, to come together and bring supplies so that we can take care of the people that are sick now. Mind you, this was all happening when we were like in the hundreds. We were literally in the 100s at the time, where we were trying to create something because this was just so shaky. It was shaking everything. Our two oldest generations were leaving and at jaw-dropping rates. I mean, that makes me scared as a traditional woman specifically, for where is our tradition going to go? We've lost a medicine man, one of our most notable, one of our most prominent, and we've already lost one this year. We lost Bert as well. So, and then now we're losing a lot of our elders. I was kind of looking around like, who else is scared like me? We're going to lose our tradition. We had one Sunday dance beginning of the year, and the whole world was there. It was a double dance ceremony. I think a lot of us showed up there in desperation to hopefully pray this thing away, but we don't have that anymore. So as far as language is concerned, as far as COVID relief for the people within their homes, that's turned into not only providing for them, but providing for needy and elderly and people across. We started seeing infants in the homes and children in the homes. So we started providing packages and gifts just for them. There are all kinds of things. We saw that people needed prayer. They're constantly shouting for prayer. We created all of our prayer packages down to Catholic prayer packages, Christian prayer packages, and traditional prayer packages, because my main interest is, I've never been a back burner person in the first place, all the way since I was a child. But it was just, when there is a need, we're supposed to feed it, right? We're supposed to see that need and nurture it and make sure it's all taken care of. That's who we were as Apache people. If you go back into history, I'm sure and I'm positive that you did not have Apaches bickering amongst each other about what our chief told us to do. We had a chief and he decided and he told us and we went and acted. Everything we did was for our survival, and with the full benefit and the full layout of everybody's well-being and interest. And one of my favorite things that I've always referred to is Sitting Bull's version of what the warrior is. And he says that the warrior is not just a person who fights, but a warrior is a person that also knows how to take care of the elderly, how to take care of their own relationships, their children, who provides as a man for not only the family, but for the tribe as well. So that's really a concept that I think all Native Americans have instilled in us. We have a responsibility to defend what we have and to defend who we are, because like anybody, like I said, who believes in God can agree, we were set here with very specific purpose, and we have been survivors. That is part of what all of our tradition and everything was built on. That is the foundation it was built on. So it's very, you know, and that's the other thing, is now that we reflect on what's going on here and now and who we're trying to take care of in our community here and now, we still have to have that full warrior sense. The warrior is not just a fighter, but a warrior takes care of everybody for real. And now, living in a world that's dominated by women, oh my goodness, it's beautiful, it's amazing, and we are now warriors too, you know? So again, and you're right, when we were sent back into our homes, anybody again who is spiritual truly believes that that was with purpose, that things are being fixed. God is totally working. We are not without right now. So all I wanted to do was just, every time there's something going on, you just have to automatically go to that place in your heart. It's like, what can we do to help? What can we do to take care of our people in our tribe? That's who we are. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's partially why I was so in love with our tradition in the first place. You go to a sunrise dance camp, all the women are cooking a meal. It just gets done. All the men are filling the hole or doing whatever, you know? That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's what I was doing when I stood up to do this. I don't know why many other people didn't stand up, because we should have done it together. Then you focus on, that was the beauty of it. The people were, now this movement, the Guardian Angels Camp, and what it has turned into, besides being a COVID relief center, which is what I initially wanted, and besides feeling like I had no support in that whatsoever, we have been able to go mobile, and now we're able to be in people's homes and yards and presence and pray with them and talk to them and find out what else their needs are. So it's actually been a blessing to us. All the riffraff that it took to get here has been very beneficial, and I really feel like it's personalized to us by God.
Oh, well said, Rhoda. Thank you so much for that. And in a minute, 30 seconds or a minute, I'm gonna ask you, but first I'm gonna ask Dr. Goklish if she can translate it into Apache for our elders and our language learners and speakers to know. But I'm gonna ask you, Rhoda, in a second, what is it that you need with the Guardian Angels initiative and the project you work with? What is it that you need? Because the world should listen and the world needs to listen. And so what is it that you need right now, or what is it that the people are telling you they need? So if Dr. Goklish, if you can go ahead and translate that into our language for our listeners and our audience members, we're asking Rhoda, who is helping our community, what is it that she needs and what is it that the community needs?
The hat community hat in dead and slini hat isha arrest at you hat isha benefit order you hat in dead and lini bichagashe da you Lini, the you dan hui dead and slio dan hui wa hat arrest hat isha benefit order hat hat isha dan stick at you Rhoda yes yek ene izikun yak o bich engineer how shandas bich oda di dan di ebiwa.
Okay, great. Go ahead, Rhoda.
Okay, so what we really truly, and this, I know it may sound like a smarty answer, but it's the absolute truth. We need everyone to come out of your shells and not be afraid to help. It really has been the barrier that has been held up for years. And I don't think people realize how little makes a big difference. So we started and we completed the collection of what we would need to open that COVID relief center. We collect probably about 98% of it with $0. It literally was just costing us gas to go and pick up donations when the pickup was needed. So it's very important to know that from the beginning, that was the least interest that we had, was how much money was going to carry us. We did it all, and we were fully set to go with $0. And then there were a couple of really awesome and generous donations that came in. And so with those, we were able to completely replenish our supplies. So please understand, we do a list going around. The packages that we provide are sanitary care packages, which include all sanitary cleaning products, paper towels, you name it, even shampoo, home products, and toothpaste and whatnot. But we also food boxes that we send out, and that speaks for itself. We also have infant care packages, which provide diapers, formula, anything an infant would need to be comfortable for their quarantine time, as well as children's packets and we were just providing comfort packages to the families. You can do it as a family fun pack with DVDs and popcorn and whatnot. You could do specific age gifts for just a girl, just a boy, just a man, just a woman, just an infant child, boy or girl. We also provide, like I said, the healthy packages, what do we call them? Our not medicinal, but our nutritional packages, which are oranges, orange juice, lemons, all the things that they're suggesting help. And then we also provide the traditional prayer packages, the Catholic prayer packages and Christian prayer packages. And those each include even straight up holy water for the Catholics and for, you know, anointing oil for the Christians, and even pollen and sage and cedar and traditional medicine for the traditional people. So if you think along those lines, any of that would suffice as donations, unless you wanted to make a monetary donation. And again, believe that every little dollar helps, even 50 cents. You know, that's half a dollar, dude. I could buy something at the dollar store with that. So those are ways that we're looking for help. And again, it requires you to come out of your shell. I know we all kind of turn our faces when they say, do you want to round that up to another dollar for your donation? And who cares? A lot of people are in that mentality. Well, we need to get into the mentality that we do care. And it really goes back to something Ria was talking about earlier. And that was talking, and you were touching on earlier as well, Noel. And that was taking care of yourself from a holistic sense. And that means making good decisions too. Knowing when a cause is right, and knowing, like, our turnaround once we get donations is just about 2 hours, and that's it. 2 hours top. And they're all, those supplies that you've given are already in their new homes. So, and you know, there's ways to reach me. So that's what we need from the people.
Okay, great. And then just to add on that in 15 seconds or less, what's not helpful to you and the Guardian Angels initiative and to your community? Because I can see online that the community has already claimed you as one of their leaders and people who get things done. So for you, it's not even a choice, it's your responsibility, because the community and the elders have already acknowledged you as someone who is helping the people. So I guess because of that, what is not helpful for you?
No, that's a really easy answer. I think that goes across the board. I think that's a kind of unified version, but it's negativity. Honestly, the negativity don't help. There are times, and especially for my husband and I, will like, excuse the dogs outside if you can all hear them howling. But so the negativity is the one thing we have to constantly keep ourselves in check, because our mission is going to go nowhere. What we're doing for the people is going to go nowhere. Our gifts are all for naught if we don't keep our heads and our hearts in the right place. So every means that requires us to prayer, Lord, make us instruments of your peace, make us extensions of you, and let the people know that we are sent by you. We don't want to have it any other way, because when the article from the Independent came in, it really made things look ugly and negative, and really pegged me against just one person, literally. But that didn't help our mission at all. In the long run, I can see the blessing in that. However, to this day, my husband and I live on this daily basis of do not look for negative things. Do not, if you hear about negative commentary, don't look for it. Do not cyber stalk people. Do not bring the negative news that you hear out there to me. That is the ultimate, because it literally takes time and energy and trips you right up. So we live on a daily basis of that daily reminder to each other. Do not look at that stuff. If sometimes I'll catch him and I'm like, hey, you're not supposed to be looking at that. It literally takes your time and energy and your focus. We cannot attain anything if that's what we're here doing. Just, you know, so that's what I'm saying. We do not need any negativity in any way, shape, or form. So that's it.
Well, that's well said. Thank you so much, Rhoda. And we only have a few more minutes to wrap up, but I did want to let you know. Let me get this on video for the. Let me get my face back on here. Okay. So we did want to let you know, Rhoda, that we are fundraising for the Apache Language Program, and we support the Guardian Angels along with Apache Language Project 2020 and any White Mountain Apache and Apache efforts. We also thank the Urban Indigenous Collective for sharing their platform with us, Sutton King and Jared Packard and the team. But yeah, Rhoda, we just want to let you know that the first 2,000 that we're raising is going directly to your effort, the Guardian Angels effort. That's not enough for the work that you do, but it's enough that we want to put that towards anything you need, whatever you need. A part of that needs to be self-care for you as well, because you've been doing, we didn't have enough time today on the call, but you've been doing a lot of work for the people. And so we really wanted to honor you and thank you for your effort and give you that $2,000 for that, for whatever you need. We're going to try and get some more equipment for you, some PPE, some drones, whatever you need. We need the world to know that you need some support and some help. And it's not you, but it's the people need it. That's the people power. So I just
yes, the people, and I guarantee that's where it's going. Oh God, thank guys so much. I mean, we have just been blessed, and the truest blessing is that I believe that the barriers were created between us and the politicians great is because God is putting before the most people here. I guarantee that. This speaks for itself.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so this will not be the last talk we have. We will update the world on what we're doing, our efforts. We do want to create an app, a software development app for, we need meditation and relaxation as a licensed social worker. I want to have that service provided. I know I mentioned in calls with you privately, Rhoda, you mentioned, look, our elders, our people, they just want to know that there's hope out there. They just want to know it, not that it's going to be okay, because you can't promise them that, but they want to know that someone cares. They want to know that it's going to be, you're not in it alone, and that is something that's powerful, that has kept us together for thousands of years, is this: we're never alone. If you're connected to the earth, you're always connected to everything else in this universe. That's the Apache ethics. So I guess with that, Belle and Dr. Goklish, is there any last minute thoughts or comments? I know we have the questions, but we have a few minutes of time. What do you think, Belle, the community needs to do to protect ourselves, and what do you think we don't need? And that's for you and Dr. Goklish. I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I had a lot of friends who inboxed me and asking me how my tribe was doing, and they were asking me, you know, what is it that you need? And real quickly, one of the things that I told them, you know, from my personal experience was that, well, the reservation is crumbling. Our elders are dying. It feels like they're taking their knowledge, they're taking their language skills, they're taking so much. And it's just like really heartbreaking when you sit back and like, we didn't get enough information. We didn't get the stories from them before they left us, you know? And so my response to one of my friends was, well, the reservation is crumbling as the US had intended for it to do so. They're taking stuff away. They are doing so many things, and right now, what I'm seeing on from my point of view, living in Phoenix and looking back at my reservation, in the beginning there was so much chaos. You know, it was chaotic. People were like blaming each other, getting mad, but slowly I'm realizing, the more I view it, I view that we are learning how to become warriors again, once again, as Apaches, as our ancestors did, coming together, planning, negotiating, what do we need for the tribe? What is it that we should do to help our tribe? And it seems like we're like, just like how we are right now, we're doing this whole webinar, we're connecting online, we're connecting on the phone, all of that. It's like we're planning and we're helping our tribe. And just like how our ancestors, they were coming together, making plans, trying to foresee the future, like, okay, well, what are the next steps that we need to do so that our babies will have an understanding of where we've been and where we want them to go. And so I feel that as Apaches, yes, we are struggling. Yes, we are going through so much, and we're the poorest tribe in the U.S., it seems. but we're relearning how to negotiate. We're relearning how to come together and help each other out. And there's so many other things like that, like the stuff that I'm seeing, I'm really excited about. And just like Rhoda said, there should be no negativity. And so when I watch, you know, on Facebook, on social media, all these things, and what I don't see is that I don't see praise. I don't see the people that are doing all the things that they're doing. I don't see everybody, oh, you know, they're doing so much. Thank you. And sorry. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry, guys. But yes. So
Unless you want to
but thank you so much, and I'm excited, and I'm with you all the way, Noel, like all the way. Whatever you want to do, whatever plans that you might have, I feel like this is a great team, and the more we recruit others to help us out, it's like we are helping our people for the future. We're helping our babies for the future, and if this is a way for us to do it by preserving the language, yes, I'm down for it, because I'm like, I'm ready. Our time is now. Is what I'm saying. Thank you so much.
Well said. Thank you so much, Belle. And Dr. Goklish, do you want to add? You can do it in the language or English if you want, but you know, just add to that, and what else you want to add in the next minute or so. Thank you. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay, I'll make it quick. I'll try to make it in a minute. But thank you, Belle, for your words of wisdom, and all of you. But I just want to add, I guess, end with what Rhoda was saying about getting out of our shells. And then with the negativity, I think that's what we need to do. We all need to just come together and work together, and enough of this divisiveness, and just be united, you know, as the Apaches that we are. And Ndee o Arishtelto, the Dafandano Hiwa, else is not a sickle, and got you and yell no which else, because Choi ko the Bagoniani, or this or I deal, Saturday deal to have compassion one for another, to help each other out. Ako na nistelo haneka, ye na when na wati na benauta, we will come out stronger, and we will have more power. So I'm going to end with that. Hey, Ashok.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So powerful. That's great. Rhoda, do you have anything else before we close out?
No, I'm just so happy. Thank all, and I love that we are the next generation that is going to do this, and so that gives me hope in itself.
Exactly. Well, everyone, the time crept up on me. I think I was going on Apache time, so forgive me, but we're thousands of years old and we're thousands of years new. So with that, I want to close us out and ask Gianna to share a very important poem. And then before that, I want to let everyone know I didn't get to share all of the history of tribal resolution and tribal law that our group has been able to pass. We cited the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous People. During the time of COVID, it's crucial that you protect your Indigenous language and that you cite UNDRIP, Google UNDRIP, because every tribe, I don't care if they're the 576 federally recognized tribes or state recognized or whoever, if you're Indigenous, you need to cite UNDRIP. And that's what we did. And our tribe passed the law unanimously. And I don't know if they've ever passed international, not international law, but we cited international law. So that's something new. And the Urban Indigenous Collective can support that with training and technical assistance. So that's a service we offer. But that said, we didn't have enough time, matrilineal matriarchy took the floor tonight. We had two great additional speakers. We'll go ahead and add that. We're gonna try and get some type of podcast episode from this, but we had two great speakers. One was talking about what is the issue around harm reduction. You know, in the White Mountain Apache community, we deal with alcoholism, substance use, whatever they brought on a boat or they brought, you know, outside, they brought that poison to us. And so we have to deal with it. And so that's where we have to talk about things like harm reduction. So I'm going to add that to this piece because there's a very, very, very leading expert in the country, in Canada, who talked to me for 20 minutes about why it's wrong to punish people with alcoholism. It's wrong. You don't do that. You don't give them a $5,000 fine. You help them. You say, what do you need? How can we help you? You drink a 30-pack a day? Okay, well, what do you want to do? You want to do a 6-pack? That's how you help them. You don't give them a fine. So I'll add that to the talk, and then I'll add another piece, very important piece. Dr. Jerry Bush, a medical doctor. Very important call I had with him. And he had very good medical information. So that I will add to it as well. But just to close out, because we're way overdue, Gianna, can you share the poem, and then we'll go ahead and close out from that. Go ahead and give some context on this poem.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Noel. Thank you to all of our speakers and to all of the attendees of this hour. It has been lovely to hear the language out loud and all of this knowledge shared. And I'm grateful to have been a part of this. I want to read a poem and relate it to specifically what Rhoda said when answering what you can do to help and what the communities really need and all of the different efforts that are being made right now. Rhoda said that what people really need to do is to not be afraid to help and to not be afraid to stem the negativity that might be a part of your life. So this quote comes from the time of the Holocaust, and it lives most prominently physically on the the United States Holocaust Memorial. It's a quote that was made into a poem originally by a German pastor who spoke about the cowardice of many of the German folks who watched in silence as the Nazi Party rose up. So I will read this now. It says, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." And I think that this quote, this poem, speaks to the fact that no matter who you belong to and all of your identities and your background, you can always help those who need it, and you can always lend a hand in whatever way, material or immaterial, you have the resources to do so. I'll pass it back to Noel. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well said. Ahea, ahea. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for coming on. And so Sutton, I don't know if you're still here with us, but thank you for having us. Our lovely ragtag team that I adore and love and cherish. So Sutton, if you're here, we'll go ahead and pass it back to you. Thank you so much for having us. Ahea.
Absolutely. I just want to thank you all for, the work that you're doing on the ground. It's just really inspiring to hear from you, strong Native women, and the work that you're doing, Noel. I truly honor it. And I'm so glad to be, in relation with you. You are truly like a sister to me. And just whatever you all need, just know that the Urban Indigenous Collective is here to support you and to amplify your voices, and that we will remain in solidarity with everything that you all are doing. So again, Yako Wuwainen.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we'll share resources for we have a GoFundMe, we have a link tree. We have some fundraising initiatives to bring some PPE and any type of resource to our community. So we'll include that as well. But thank you to the Urban Indigenous Collective. So we hope everyone stays safe out there and have a good night. Thank you for spending this hour with us. Take care, everyone. Notice.
Thank you. Bye.
We have see you later. So we'll see you all later.